Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of How Did We Get Here? I'm your host, Jay Carter, and we got my wonderful co host that's always heard and never seen, Skeens.
We bike, baby. We bike.
We back. But again, how did we get here? The show with two cousins that are like brothers talking about any and everything and the process. So we just want to say greetings, peace. How y'all doing? Love, peace, and blessings. Uh, we still been posted up. You know what I'm saying? Moving around a little bit, but not moving around. Quite as much, of course. But oops. All that said, the quarantine. I'm not doing that as far as what's going on, but as far as there's no issues with us going stir crazy or anything like
No.
that. I can definitely say that.
Still moving strategically.
Yeah, absolutely.
Despite
Absolutely.
the quote unquote reopening of the city or cities, depending on where, or states, depending on where you're located.
Yeah.
Yeah, even though they tell you that we're back open, still move with caution.
Mm-hmm.
Take it. With try to be a drug dealer in your mind. Anybody watched The Wire before? You know what I mean. Move with caution.
Right. Absolutely. So, again, we are moving. Especially at work, we doing masks and stuff like that, and you know, um, loves scenarios and different things like that, man. But we want to sit back, have a little conversation with you. We want to be there with you guys in your home, and share a little piece of time with you. And y'all, we haven't said this before, but we want this to be everybody's show. So you never know. Some of you I have already told, but you might get that phone call. I will let you know that it's not just a.
It's not IRS.
It's not IRS.
It's not child support.
Yeah.
It's not even your mother. It's
No,
us.
it's us, and we just want to have some conversation with you guys because so many of you guys we've had dope conversations with, and we got so many people in our circle that are some like awesome, amazing, interesting, intriguing people. So we want to hear your story, and we want others to hear your story. So if you get the call, please pick it up from your boy or from Skeens, and I was thinking of all the things that was on my mind, and it's a lot. This is low on the totem pole, but big in my mind as a hip hop fan is the release of Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Yeah,
So last I checked,
it's like 47.
I gotta look at
million.
it again.
I think it's like at 47 million views of his.
So
song.
this dude gets out. He's on there gloating about telling. You know what I'm saying? And it's like this generation of folks, it doesn't move them at all to be telling. Now, again, as a civilian, I'm not in the game. I don't wear a jersey. I don't go to practice. I'm a civilian. I'm not involved. Something happens to me and I notify the authorities. That's commonplace for a civilian. But if I profess to be in the game, jersey, I'm going to practice, and I tell, that's snitching.
Yes, exactly.
That's snitching. That's telling. That's ratting. I mean, whatever you want to call it. But this dude, his popularity is, I could argue, at an all-time high.
Yes. They were saying like
Oh, we check it right now. That video he dropped one day ago was 49 million views.
yes, it's crazy. So basically, we're giving him validation.
Absolutely.
So basically, hey, what you did was right.
Right. Right.
Is with and it's crazy because we're creating we're I'm gonna take it back. We're recreating a monster that already lived.
Mm-hmm.
So and it's even within when you watch him, so many people warned him before this situation.
Yeah, Charlamagne,
Joe Budden.
yeah, a lot of them guys.
So many people talked to him and tried to tell him, "Hey, you want to move a certain way."
Mm-hmm.
Yet and still, he continued to do what he did. went through those situations, and then got locked up behind his actions.
Yes.
He told on the people that was involved with him.
He told.
He's recorded.
He did a good job of telling.
He's recorded calling a guy, setting up a hit on a guy from in another area, and then snitched on the guy that he hired to do the hit. And now we telling the validation that he's getting with those 49 million views and 2 million people that watch him on Instagram, so on and so forth. That he's basically becoming the people's champion.
Yes.
As default as that is.
Yes.
He became a people's champion from telling.
Telling. Tells and then.
So the morals that you're supposed to move by as a man, standing on your word, being a stand-up individual. Look at it this way. Back to show how things have changed. At one point in time, your word was your bond.
Absolutely.
You can agree on buying a house, getting a job, so on and so forth, with a handshake.
Handshake. Look a man in the eye and shake his hand.
Now we go from that to running off on the plug. Right. We got songs about it. Hey, I love hip hop, love the beat, but we got songs that's glorifying running off on the plug.
Right. Indeed.
So that shows how the mindset has changed. How being a man, the quote unquote the structure of what a man was supposed to be has changed. Mm-hmm. As we talked about earlier, it's gone. Gone is the OG. Mm-hmm. They used to pull you aside,
absolutely,
and say, "Hey, little homie, you moving wrong."
Absolutely.
Or even he would put a couple dollars in your pocket to keep you out of trouble. Hey, little brother, he saw you playing the sports or whatever. Mm-hmm. He see you out here doing wrong with your friend. Hey, little brother, hey, here a couple dollars. Mm-hmm. Go home, go buy you something, because he may see you in a predicament that you may do something that may jeopardize your future.
Right. Because
you're hungry. Mm-hmm. Or you feel that you got to fit in, or you got to look a certain way. Hey, you got a hole in your shirt. He sees something in you that you don't see in yourself at that moment.
Right.
And he want to invest in you that probably someone didn't invest in him, to say, hey, I'm gonna give you a chance that I didn't get. So let me give you a couple dollars, get you out of. Hey, I see you. Go do something. Or he may holler at other kids in the community that he knows wrong. Say, hey, y'all leave him alone. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Don't touch him, or y'all stay away from him, because he's indirectly is investing in you. Now, he may not be the correct role model depending on his method of how he got his or what he did in the community.
Right.
But he was basically your guardian angel. Mm-hmm. That guardian angel is gone. So you hear some kids say, oh, well, the older cats don't rock with us. But then at the same time, when someone older does try to pull you aside and try to give you game, you don't want to hear it.
No.
So, and which in terms hardens the heart of an older guy. Like, you know what? I'm trying to give you game. You don't want to hear it. Deal with it. Hey, deal with the consequences. Let's say you made your own bed, now lie in it. Mm-hmm. But then you can't come back and cry and cry and say, well, you left us out to dry. Mm-hmm. I gave you an olive branch. You slapped it out of my hand.
I mean, we love Jay-Z quotables. I'm just trying to give you some game.
Yeah.
So we can make the transition from the street to the fame.
Hov did that, so hopefully you won't have to go through that.
Right, exactly.
So that's when you say the OG comes and pull you aside, he's seen it. Mm-hmm. He's did it, right or wrong. He's learned from it. Mm-hmm. And he don't want you to make those same mistakes that he's made. But that guy's gone now.
Gone.
And now, partially, unfortunately, we have kids raising kids.
Absolutely, man. I had a kid. It was a few years ago. He was a little knucklehead, and I was talking to some other young men about how he was moving, just trying to get an idea for what he was doing out there. And they was like, "Oh man, he an OG. This dude's like 14 years old."
Yeah,
I'm like, "Stop! He don't know nothing."
No. and that's crazy when you say a 14-year-old is your OG, but also we talking about kids raising kids. Your parent is a kid.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
So that once was upon a time when we had a sense of community. When the parent was a little bit older, they had a little bit more wisdom.
Yeah.
But now we're at a point that parents are actually kids, and they're growing with their kids at real time, as they both are kids.
I.e., going to the club with your mama and stuff like that. Not knocking it.
I mean, hey, You are as young as you feel.
You know what I'm saying? But sometimes we saw that relationship between mothers and daughters, and fathers or something, whatever it was, and it wasn't healthy because you weren't building a positive structure for them.
Well,
You was out there trying to kick it and do the same stuff they doing.
You were more of a friend than a parent.
Absolutely.
And at sometimes, when you blur those lines, you also blur the lines of authority. Mm-hmm. Because as they see you as their friend, or you are the cool parent, mm-hmm. you're going out your kid when you tell them something that may be for their benefit. They brush it off. And say, "Oh, that's my home." Because hey, right. You're not my parent. You're my homegirl.
Right.
So that still has to be structured even within that. Now you do need to be a friend.
Right.
But then the question is, how much of a friend should I be, mm-hmm. in order and still balance being a good parent? I don't have to be your best friend to be a best parent for you.
I had another friend, and she would always, brag to me how close she was with her daughter, and different things her daughter could come to her about, and this and that and the third. And it turned out from that friendly advice that she gave, her daughter went through so much turmoil in relationships, children out of wedlock, etc., etc. But I'm like, you were setting this example. Yeah. With her by playing with the information that you was giving her, like, yo, you don't need to move like that. Hey, that dude is like this and that and the third, but you was being playful with it, like giving her advice that a homie would give her, instead of the advice that her mama needed to give her.
Sometimes because you're trying in the process of trying to be the friend, you're enabling certain bad habits.
Absolutely.
So you're more of you are being a detriment to the growth and development of your child in the spirit of being their friend.
Absolutely. And now
your kid don't need a friend. Your kid need a parent.
Yeah, she needed some official structured advice from your experience as a mom and being in this world, X amount of time and going through your own set of issues and challenges. Like, this is not going to set you up on the path, nor these kids, to be in this environment like that, where again, because you were giving her this friendly, funny style advice, now she's in a position where we talked about, where the family is fractured, and that could have been stopped with a better example that she gave her. Now, again, all that said, the Tekashi thing, man, it just blows my mind this day and age what we will give our attention and our time to. You know what I'm saying? It blows my mind that, again, as a man, this dude is not a stand-up guy. Yeah. He's not a stand-up guy in any way, any fashion. And, again, he's being applauded for, again, like you said, as dude, when I look you in the eye as a man and tell you I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. I'm going to honor it.
I hope as many of us that watch that video vote.
Oh, don't get me started on that. Yeah.
I said again, I hope as many of us that's watching this video vote.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I don't care who it is that you're voting for.
Nope.
Just vote. Yeah. And not just vote just for the sake of voting. Understand the policy. Vote for who best serves your policy.
And we were talking about that. Perfect segue is in black culture. We've kind of been, ingrained in us that we just vote Democrat, straight line Democrat. And you ask the average cat when they vote, hey, do you know what his policies are? Do you know what he's about? Do you know what his record is? No. Then you still are putting us at a disadvantage if we're not holding anybody accountable to owe us something for our vote.
Exactly.
But they're getting our vote for free.
Well, Byron Allen was talking about how he went to Barack about certain things. Policy, hey, I endorse you, but part of this endorsement is our agenda.
Right, absolutely.
Now it fell through one way or another. Right. Now you can look at it on two spectrum. Mm-hmm. You can say, hey, Barack provided us with a possibility. Mm-hmm. The possibility that, hey, a black man can be president.
Right.
Or a black man can be more than episodes of Roots.
Right. Yes. It showed us that we could hit the pinnacles.
Yes, but also
it's attainable.
You look at it from Byron Allen's perspective. I matter. My vote matters.
Right.
So if you want that, you have to earn it. There's no different than when you go holler at a girl.
Okay.
You want to make her your girl, or you want to sleep with whatever. There's some form of earning that you must obtain.
There's an exchange.
Yes.
There's an exchange.
There's a barter system.
Absolutely. There's an exchange.
I allowed back in the day when they said booty.
Yeah. Right.
Just so happens but anyway.
Absolutely.
But there's a value that you must have.
Absolutely.
So when we talk about politics, Biden is getting a pass because he's Barack's guy.
Riding on his coattail.
But now if you listen to some of Biden's old speeches in terms of talking about us as black men being predators, and within that speech they owned it. He owned that, hey, we are partially and for mainly, not just partially, mainly responsible for what we created. But even though we created this, I don't care, because if it's you, that monster that I created, and we're not monsters, but in the eyes of them, that look at us that way, I created this monster, and I'm not going to take accountability for fixing what I created. If it's between you and my mother, you got to go down. Right. You got to get locked up. Even though I'm responsible for this, it's not my responsibility to help you, but my job is to get rid of you. But no one talks about that. So even with that, now he may have. Now I would say maybe he's changed. Now, he's seen the light of day.
In all fair, I seen something where he allegedly has some kind of agenda. I forgot what it's called.
But at the same time, don't get lost in the politics speak.
Right.
If his agenda is not on paper.
Yeah. Okay.
We got to see pen to pad.
Yeah.
We have to hold these different
policies. That's outlined to us.
Yes, and something that says that we're going to get something out of this.
Right. Yeah.
It doesn't have to be 40 acres and a mule, but it can be as little as not shooting an unarmed black man. We can pass an agenda, say if you are a police officer, or and you knowingly use excessive force, I'm to prosecute you just like a regular person. Not because you're in the line of duty. We have people in the military that are in the line of duty that come back with PTSD and other things. They're not just going around and shooting someone in that manner. And if they do, guess what? They they pay the consequences just like a regular person, as a civilian. So there's no exception to the rule. Now, if it's justified, it's justified. But if it's extreme circumstances, hey, I gotta go. You gotta go.
Oh, here we go. Lift every voice. But first of all, I'm trying to look at this deal here. Is trying to get me to make a contribution before I could see that thing.
That's crazy.
I don't want to make a contribution. Can I just get to where I want to go? Well, it says lift every voice. The Biden plan for Black America. Let's see. BT got it. Okay. Former Vice President Joe Biden, the presumptive Democratic nominee for President of the United States, has released a 6-point plan for Black America in an extensive post on Medium. Let's see. And
then also within this plan, what form of representation are we going to have? Don't just give me a plan if you're not going to integrate us within the framework of the plan. There needs to be some form of coalition of people from the inner cities that's doing the real work. I don't want to just hear a celebrity just because they're a celebrity, which we in this culture are in love with the celebrity.
Right. Here we go. Look,
I want somebody that has boots on ground. Now, I would say a celebrity. We have my son. We have Brother Reason. It's other people that are just so happen are celebrities, but we know that they're putting in work.
Yeah, you got to be.
I want to see somebody who's putting in work, boots to ground. That no matter what community that community one can vouch for that person as a person, not just say, oh, well, this person. No, who are you as your character? How much work are you putting in? You're not scamming the people. We want those kind of people put in position to help uplift, and not just a person who may be from a perspective. Sometimes just because you're a celebrity, we're drunk off that person's celebrity, but that celebrity at times become out of touch with the everyday person because, hey, when I got $50 million and so on and so forth,
Right.
I don't know that struggle.
Right.
I don't know what that one
You
Tyler
have
Perry
touch,
movie.
Yeah.
He said when they asked him what's the,
He didn't know
the
how
cost
much
of a gallon of milk.
Yeah, he don't know.
Now, if you can't tell me that, then unfortunately you can't really be my voice. Now you can be the spokesperson,
Right.
a la Jordan, spokesperson of his shoes, but that's a whole nother conversation.
Right.
You can be the spokesperson, but you can't be the actual person making that decision because you're not integrated.
It says there. Here's the 6 points. Here's an overview for Black voters. Advance the economic mobility of African Americans and close the racial wealth and economic gap by investing in African American workers, businesses, and communities, and expanding African American home ownership and wealth building. Number 2, expand access to high quality education and tackle racial inequality in our education system by investing in universal preschool, closing funding gaps by race, making college affordable, and tackling the student debt crisis. Number 3, end health disparities by making far-reaching investments, expanding access to affordable health care, improving the quality of African Americans to receive improving the quality of care African Americans receive, and making health equity a reality for African Americans. Number 4, strengthen America's commitment to justice by ending incarceration for drug use alone, reducing the number of people incarcerated, reinvesting those savings in communities affected by mass incarceration, and addressing systematic misconduct in police departments and prosecutors' offices. I'm intrigued by that. Number 5, make the right to vote and the right to equal protection real for African Americans by dramatically expanding the Department of Justice's ability to fight voter suppression and gerrymandering, bringing the full force of the federal government's authority to confront voter disinformation efforts targeting African Americans, and appointing a federal judiciary that looks like America. Number 6, address environmental justice by making historic investments, enforcing environmental justice legislation, and ensuring that African Americans are dealt in on the country's clean energy future.
The bullet points sound good, but
Right.
what's the game plan?
Yeah, we'll have to see what that part is.
So when we talk about what was the one? I think it's like the second one. They was talking about equality with business. How?
Right. Yeah.
Like what are you gonna do to help make sure that these business, one, don't just give business the money. Educate them first before you give them money.
Right.
Find out their
Because
business
money
plan
without education,
is wasted money.
because all you're going to do is do what you know to do with it.
Exactly. So put that person in position to succeed.
Yeah.
So before I give you money, let me make sure that your game plan is correct.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Maybe we should get you a mentorship first, and make sure that you understand what you're getting yourself into.
Yep.
Help if you have a business. What can we do? As like they have a couple shows. They have the business restoration. Let's see what needs to be done to restore your business, or to put your business to, or scale up to another level that you may not have been able to do before I give you this money. How do we?
Because we want, the key is that I think sometimes what happens is that
we want the money.
we want the money, and we're not setting people up fully for success.
Exactly. So
You know what I'm
training,
saying?
the money should go into training the employees.
Right.
Making sure that they fully and that the business becomes like McDonald's, that it's plug and play. It's a system.
Right.
McDonald's are not, they're not selling sloppy Joe. They're not selling ribs. They sell what they sell.
That's it.
And it's a system. And it's not just about what you're selling, the product. It's about the system that the business and the model, the business model.
Once you set that model,
that is plug and play. Now we're talking about real wealth because who's to say one of those employees, once that system is down packed, that employee now can duplicate or replicate that model and start their own.
Yep, because I
This
think
is what we need.
McDonald's literally their business model is make more McDonald's.
Yeah.
Is build more. That's it, because it's a tried and true method.
Exactly.
That, and it's not broken. You know,
Blue Magic.
That's a brand name. I stand by. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's that's what the idea is. So I'm curious to see what Biden does. But if we don't get united on, and again, we're looking at black folks as a whole, kind of what we need as a whole. Again, we know that there are some things that we need as individuals, but as a whole, what we need as a culture and a community, we got to be on the same sheet of music. We got to be on the same sheet of music, because again, we've been voting Democrat, and I know some of my, the political experts will argue me down, but we've been voting Democrat for a very long time, and I'm not really sure what we've gotten for it.
And this is not us saying, hey, vote Republican or vote. No. It's not that. It's
we're saying be educated.
Yes, whichever way you go. I don't care where you go.
Be educated.
You can vote for William Hong.
Right. I have no musical training.
I don't care who you vote for, but make sure that you're fully educated on who you're voting for.
That's all we're saying.
And make sure that it aligns with your values,
yes,
your creed,
yes,
and what's best for you and yourself. Now, we're not just limiting just to the black community. Yes. We have our brown family members, and,
yes,
and we even have low. We have white people that are basically quote unquote called trailer park trash.
Right. Everybody. So, we're talking about the socioeconomics of it. It touches us all.
We're basically talking about the people that have not been really represented. But in the words of Jay, I'm first talking about the world I know.
Yes, absolutely. Yep.
But still, we want people to fully understand that you matter, and what you believe in matters. Mm-hmm. So don't just give it away. Hey, even for free. Even women, your mama told you, don't just give it away for free, baby.
Give it away, baby. You make him show you.
Now we ain't talking about street walking. But we're just talking about understanding.
I take a man home.
There's a value within you.
Lovely relations. Mike Douglas. I'm sorry. Oh, speaking of, we forgot.
Happy Mother's
Day to all the mothers.
Love you, Mom.
Segue, love you, Mom.
One of my best friends of all time.
Absolutely. Love you, Mommy. Love to my wife. Love to all my sisters out there. You know, I truly, honestly, and truly love you all.
Oh, yeah, my sister love you. Yeah, she's a mother, too.
Yeah, you got to, well, you got,
yeah,
oh, yeah,
yeah, you know.
I'm sorry. But, yes.
Love y'all.
Happy Mother's Day, Queens. We love you guys. We couldn't do it without you. So we just want to make sure that we say that as well. But I was thinking of.
I'm talking about trifling y'all is. No, I'm playing.
You know, another episode we will talk about how trash y'all could be sometimes, because we want to be controversial, but we're not going to do that on this episode. I was thinking about again how we were talking about the quarantine, and you know how it's giving us time to evaluate and think, and you know tie up some loose ends on some relationships and stuff like that. I was thinking about when we had the conversation the other day when we were talking about when you with somebody but you still in your mind with your ex.
Hey, right now, shout out to all the people that can't cheat right now.
We've been on lock.
She does an all-time low. Hey,
wonder why dudes sit over the window like just looking out. What's wrong with you? Nothing.
You out of here, Mom. No, but yeah,
I thought that was interesting, man. Or even when we was talking about when the relationship is over, but you still stick around. Is the quarantine causing folks to stay when they really would be
Well,
gone.
more of it, if we just go on that is like, has the quarantine made you reevaluate your relationship?
That you like, dang, this chick is actually dope, or to do,
Vice
hey,
versa. Yeah,
it was actually pretty dope.
either A, as you said, did the quarantine make you stay around long you wanted to be?
Boom.
Because you may have had some people who actually have one foot out the door. And
I
the
bet some
quarantine
cat
said,
that
"Hey."
had some bags packed, and he had to play it off.
I was getting ready to donate to the good
I just want to see how much clothes can fit in here. That's what I want to see.
But also within the quarantine, did that make you not just also reevaluate and think about what's important to you?
Mm-hmm.
So as we talking, we're joking and things about,
Right.
hey, you had one foot out the door, but maybe you actually did,
Mm-hmm.
and this was your wake up call. I ain't, in the words of Paul Mooney,
Yeah,
Google that.
Yeah.
But
Got your ninja. We're gonna
your wake up call.
Yeah.
So maybe this was a wake up call to some.
Yeah.
Maybe this was not just this. Maybe this was a call to action.
Right.
So when I say call to action, maybe this made you say, "Hey, I need to get my ish together
Mm-hmm.
and be who I'm supposed to be in the life of my kids
Mm-hmm.
or my significant other, so on and so forth. No matter the different dynamics of relationship that you may have with people, or maybe you need to. This was a time for you to reflect on what was what's you, like who are you, and sometimes you may have to take that step back and really identify who you are as a person, and reinvent yourself if necessary, or buckle down and really put your hands in the dirt, get it out the mud, and be who you're supposed to be.
1,000% on especially on that last point. Buckling down and being who you're supposed to be. But I think even to take it on another track is that it definitely showed you again. I feel like we try to live our lives. Really simplistic as it is. You know what I'm saying? You and I. How we kind of move. But it made you just. I was talking to my mom on the phone about it the other day. Is it made you just appreciate the value of walking up and seeing your man in the street and dapping him up and just, you know what I'm saying? Something simple like that. I'm seeing cats at work now. You like, all right, boy, bye. You know what I'm saying? But you're not. Just a simple, the value of human interaction. You know what I'm saying? It's an eye opener for that kind of stuff, and then the relationship dynamic. I think it's always key for those lines of communication to be open, and I think as we grow and develop, it's always the best policy to try our best to be who we are. And one of our favorites is shout out to Corey Holcomb in the 5150 show. But he was like, you rarely find people in life who really want to be around you when you say, okay, I'm about to take this. This is who I now
Live your truth.
This is who I really am. This is it. Okay, I'm about to give it to you. And most of the time, what happens is once we get into those places of the real, I'm talking about real. And when I say, I think another thing that's interesting to me is that we play these roles and positions like everything about our personality and character is beautiful when it's not. It's not at all.
All of us. But part of this cancel culture is
right.
We want to basically throw somebody away.
Yes.
For the flaws that they have, which we all have.
Right. And the thing about the cancel culture is you within yourself know you got some of them same issues, yes. But you out here pretending that you don't. We was talking about the Last Dance doc. And Colin Cowherd was saying what he appreciated about MJ, Good, Bad, or Indifferent, is that dude is honest and true to who he is. Like it, disagree with it. this is who I am. This is how I move. I can't do nothing but respect it. Some ways he move,
Yes.
I don't agree with it. I don't rock with it,
Yeah.
but I respect his position as a man and rocking that way. And that's when you're talking about living your truth. And I try to be upfront and honest about where I fall short at, and then always remember the transition that I had to make in life to get to, kind of a settled place in my marriage and just as a man in general. You know what I'm saying? And I try my best to never ridicule somebody and just meet them where they at.
Well, you gotta think. A part of those lies that people tell is basically lack of self worth,
Yeah.
or not having confidence in who you are and thinking people or feeling that you're less than or a person won't love you for being who you really
For
are.
being who you really
But at the same
are.
time, you're also disrespecting that person by lying to him.
There you go.
So, whether consciously or subconsciously,
Yes, absolutely.
you're lying to him, he lying to you, whatever. Somehow, some way, somebody lying to somebody. But at the same time, we say keep it real.
Yeah, and I remember it as I grew in my relationship with my wife. There were certain times where, as a younger guy, I would keep certain as open as I am and as communicative as I am. There were still things that I would keep in here, and there was certain things that she would do in certain ways that and I had to say, hey, actually, when you do this, it make me feel this way, and when you do this, it make me feel this way, and I don't like. And again, salute to my wife, man. She was looking at me. She's like, "Oh, so you just telling me that you look crazy?" I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Okay, it's cool." And hey, and we dealt with that thing. Hey, I respect why you feel that way. We'll move and do this a different way.
That's
now.
why I said there's somebody for everybody.
Absolutely,
But
absolutely.
you don't know if that person is really for you, or vice versa,
in its truest form,
unless you are true and honest with each other.
Absolutely.
Because maybe I'm holding her from being with the person that she's meant to be with, because I'm lying to her in fear of being alone, or with that selfishness that I don't want nobody else to have her, and vice versa. But you can if that relationship is built on lies, it will never flourish.
And you hit another nail on the head just now. The fear of being alone, the fear of being by myself. That's one of the biggest ones in the world. Can you be in a quiet room by yourself? Can you be in a quarantine in the crib and not go crazy? You know what I'm saying?
You must learn to first be happy by yourself
Absolutely.
before you can be happy with someone else.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, and I think that's one of the reasons why we have these talking about staying around with somebody is one of the biggest things is a fear of being alone, not being able to be by yourself. And I know countless numbers of us have stayed in toxic relationships, or not even just toxic, just knowing that you and that person ain't, this ain't even working
You
right.
knew from the day you met her,
You knew.
like, yo,
You knew.
the chick trash.
You knew.
Bird, bird in the hand.
Yeah, right. You knew it. I've talked, with countless people when we, discuss relationships and stuff. And I always like to take it back to the beginning. What signs were there in the beginning? In the beginning,
I.e., how did we get here?
how did we get here? And what happened in the beginning? There's always something that you start off with that there was a flag that said, "Hey, I'm here," and you say, "I want to be with somebody. I want to be with somebody." And then you put time, you put sex, you put moving in together, you put kids, and then
You lied to yourself and then blamed them that you ain't the person that I thought you was. Or
I've
you ain't-
never been that person. I've never been him. I've never been him. I've never been that person.
You lied to yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stevie Wonder could see this. This wasn't the person for you.
Yeah, and we do those funny things like that in relationships, man. And as dudes, and a part of what we trying to show, in us just sitting up here running our mouths again, is that as men, we gotta open up our we gotta get in our bag of who we are as men and not be so limited. You know what I'm saying? Because dudes can communicate,
Yes.
and women provide an environment where that dude can share himself with you and you not ridicule.
Yes, and that's what I was going to say. The more of it being, there needs to be a safe space.
It's got to be a safe
opportunity.
Safe yeah,
to be vulnerable.
Safe, got to be safe
as well. And that's when you say, like, some women say, "Well, you don't talk." Well, part of the reason why some guys don't talk because the second he opens his mouth, you're ready to tell him that he's wrong.
We don't even talk anymore.
Yes. Instead of actually, like you said, sit back for a moment, let him finish his thought.
Yeah.
Because in part of not being able to really articulate,
yeah,
you have to give that person an opportunity and space to actually fully formulate those words, and he or she may fully get to what they were meaning.
Yep.
Once they're finished with their statement. But if you're jumping down their throat from the second they start talking,
yeah,
why would I continue to share?
yeah,
As well as you are doing yourself a disservice because you didn't take the time to hear.
yes,
Is that between listening? Is there between listening and hearing?
yes. Listen to understand, not to respond.
Yes.
And listen to. I like to listen to me to get me.
Yeah.
I want you
Help me, help you.
Help me, help you. Listen to get me. You know what I'm saying? And in relationship, when you in the perfect cycle of the relationship, I want to get to know you. I have a thirst and a hunger and a desire to get to know what makes you you.
Jodeci, come and talk to me.
You understand what I'm saying?
I want to get to know you.
You know what I'm saying?
Now, that weird one you're talking about.
Yeah.
But those lyrics do match right now.
They do. Side note, we was talking earlier. I gotta give y'all women a little bit of work. What is the thing where some, not all, but some women have told us that they want to give they dude pushback just to see the man come out of him and you tell me no and I really know. Why are we operating in mature relationships and playing these games like this?
You want a mature relationship,
But you playing immature games.
Immature games.
Like, why are we playing a game of you doing something that you're telling me, women are telling me they really don't want to do, and they really know that it's not the right thing, but in order for you to see my manhood, you need to have me check you.
You got to see me in action.
Yeah, like
I want you to make me do what I'm supposed to be doing.
Help us understand that.
I know this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Help us understand
but I want
that.
you to make me do what I'm supposed to be doing.
And I just see it's something about when your man check you and tell you sit down and shut up.
And that's not
Man, please.
quote unquote a man. Nor do I don't think some men really want to do that.
They don't.
But out of obligation, I gotta put on this cape and get in this character to perform a role that I really don't want. But now,
if some of y'all just want to role play, just say that.
Yes.
Why do we have to play this game? Like, okay.
There's some stores out there got some wonderful outfits for you.
Wonderful, beautiful. I mean, I gotta
go on pictures, make your own fit.
I get a toy gun or whatever you want me to do. You know what I'm saying? But I was always intrigued by these things like that.
Yes, I'm Lester. Did you order a pizza?
Right. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Whatever it is.
That works
whatever
for you.
your thing is.
But don't create chaos.
Right, because dudes really want to come home to a place of peace. I'm not here to play no games with you. You know what I'm saying? If you really want to sit down and have a legitimate conversation with me about a move that we want to make as a family or something that you're thinking about, let's do that. But why do we got to play these little games for you to kind of have this measuring stick on my masculinity or not? You know what I'm saying? Now, as a man, I get it. You know, women do respond to a certain level of quote unquote manliness. They don't want no sucker pushover type guy. But again, in a healthy relationship, you shouldn't be evaluating and like testing me that way to where it's like, you know, you're trying to measure this manliness thing in me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. My sense of confidence as a man, when you come in a room, women And not just women, other men sniff out a man with confidence.
Right.
It's magnetic. The confidence that I exude should basically let you know that I am who I am, and I'm who I'm supposed to be.
Right.
And if I'm that person for you, then understand that's what it is. But don't try to make me reenact that beginning moment. It's almost like when they say drug addicts always chase that first high. You're trying to chase that first high when you first met me by testing me to see am I that person that you first fell in love first met or first fell in love with. Be better.
Here's the reality. If you're the same person that you were at the beginning and y'all been in the game a while, you failed. You got a ways to go. You shouldn't be the same person. Either one of you shouldn't be the same person. You know what I'm saying?
Now the growth should be in the right direction.
Of course.
You grow together, not apart.
Right. Yeah.
While still maintaining your individuality and becoming a better you. But if you are still who you was,
Yes.
you hustling backwards.
Yes, absolutely. You moonwalking, baby. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So it's again, women, please answer that question for me because I think some of these things sometimes, and I know we're not gonna think the same and stuff like that, but
our disclaimer is we don't know everything.
We don't. That's why we.
But we like starting the conversation.
Yes.
Maybe this is our male pushback. But no, we like sparking the brain for change, and the only way we're gonna grow is if we have these conversations. Sometimes, no matter how tough they may be, sometimes no matter how playful, but these conversations are needed.
Yeah, we gotta have them. We gotta embrace it. And that's again the key during this quarantine is locking in like that with your family, with your significant others, man. I was having another funny conversation. I'm always having. So I'm sitting at work the other day, y'all. And I was telling my boss that I was going to actually call her to have her chime in on this. And I told you this, but wait to say it's. So we were sitting in there. It's 3 women in my office, and then it's me and another homie of mine. So we always getting into these man-woman discussions and stuff like that. And we were discussing how they talk about, I was arguing the point that women talk about male privilege, but y'all live longer than us. And it's because we got all this stress and stuff in our life that we got to deal with. And so my boss, her rebuttal to it is that since men are not multitaskers like women. Okay, fine. Okay. And she said the brain is the engine of the body. And because we rely on women so much to do the thinking for us, and we don't utilize our brains as much as they do, that's why we die early, because the engine to our body has given out. I said, you low down, dirty, and I said whatever I said to her. And she said, I mean, the only thing that men get is the little prostate or whatever like that. Women go through way more stuff.
Shout out to you, because I could never do it. So there's no role reversal.
Now, my wife and a lot of women I know, and there's a lot of women on here that'll be like, Jay, you're not going to rush him. He's going to do things at his own time. I admit this. But the average man, it's not that we're not good multitaskers. We're just better prioritizers than y'all. A woman will come and bring you 10 things and say they all have to get done today. A man goes to the list and says, today, tomorrow, next week, next month, next year.
To make sure those things are done properly. Not do them just to do them. Not just say they're done. All right, hey, y'all knock them all down. But what's the quality of the work that you did to knock down all 10 in the day?
Absolutely. And that's
I can do it, but
women, we trying to give y'all some gems on this Mother's Day. This will help you understand your man. We prioritize. Y'all, because your brain is going like this. You in your sleep. A dude, when we are sitting there watching the fight, the game, we're thinking about the fight or the game. We might be thinking about eating. We might be thinking about trying to get something later. That's about it.
We look at it like when you get mail out the mailbox. Oh, that's important. I'm gonna answer that one.
Absolutely.
Oh, this is an advertisement. Throw that away. Oh, it's my neighbor's mail. Whatever. We go through. What we need, we keep. What we don't, we set it aside. And the trash, throw in the trash.
And here's the thing that my argument to women, and y'all, we can get more stuff done to you, but y'all be so freaking stressed out and worried and all this kind of stuff over stuff that ain't got to be done. That's my point. But I know y'all are just so. I know none of y'all are gonna agree with it. It's fine. But brothers, stand with me in solidarity.
That's right.
We know that these chicks will try. And my thing is, I'll be like, yo, I'm trying to maintain this list because you gonna already have something else waiting for me to do after that. When is the break? There's never a freaking break. You know what I'm saying? We'll prioritize this stuff.
How they do this.
Yes. You know
and that list is like a roll scroll. It just keeps
going. I'm sitting talking with my wife, my mom, and one of my sisters, and I'm like, you know, these are some educated women. We always have great conversation. I asked a question about women, prioritization, lists, multitasking, why women's minds are always going, and she just goes, "Oh, we just want to get it off our plate just so it can be off." I'm like, I thought you was gonna say something profound.
Nope.
That's trash.
Just running on the treadmill.
Yes.
Going nowhere fast.
I'm like, my goodness, man. This stuff is horrible, man.
Hey, but shout out to y'all. We still love you.
We still love you, but my God, man. I got a home.
This is a safe space. Do not criticize us for sharing.
Yes, we're having fun. We're sharing who we are as men, and we can't be ridiculed. Don't shame us.
No.
But anyway, y'all, I think all that said, you know that we think different. You know what I'm saying? And we look at things, but both are necessary, though. All joking aside, the way that your wife thinks, the way that what your husband brings to the table is all a part of the gumbo that makes the beautiful relationship that you have. One is not better than the other.
Yes.
You know, we have this narrative in society where we're all, again, trying to measure up in the relationship, but it's a cooperative effort in your relationship.
So my old plug and outlet theory.
Yeah.
Hey, we need the outlet just like you need the plug. Absolutely. To let there be light.
There you go. Boom.
You can't get one without the other. Absolutely. It doesn't mean one is better than the other. No. It means the yin and yang is necessary.
Both are
to achieve that which we need.
Absolutely. Both, and we joke about it and stuff like that, and it can be frustrating sometimes. But again, when the communication and things are right in the relationship,
try walking in the dark if you don't like it.
You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. Again, I always say, wifey, she's technical. You know, she's paperwork wise, organization. I'm the front man. I run my mouth, but it works. It works for happy, get ready to be 18 years together relationship. You know what I'm saying? It work out.
Hey, Eddie Kane was a lead singer.
Right, absolutely.
You gotta have a lead.
You got a lead. You got background. You got musicians. You got all this stuff is a part of the process that makes it what it is. Yeah. But I still think some of the way y'all, it's just like, you got to be kidding me. You got to be. This is what you tripping about right now? This has to be done now? You know what I'm saying? Are you kidding me, girl? I'm trying to get something to eat. I mean, Jesus Christ. But again, just to end things off, again, y'all stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves and your family.
Once again, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.
Happy Mother's Day. Again, just to give a shout out to my mom and how much she has meant to me in my 38 years in this world. When you short and dark skin and people tell you got big lips and all this other kind of stuff, your nose, you walk like this. Sometimes I be like, Lord, why'd you give me all these things? But one person that was always in my corner, encouraging me and helped me have a level of confidence that I still carry with me to this day is my mom. You know what I'm saying? And she was always my biggest cheerleader. Whatever I was trying to do when I was chasing that acting bug thing, and I can remember as a kid, she would act out skits with me on a big camcorder. We'd be down there acting out things, and my dad didn't move around a lot when we was in the military, but in the times he was gone, and I could just remember how much time her and I spent together, and what helped me in my relationship with my wife is being around my mom and just having a better understanding of women and communicating with women. I could, you know, uh, uh, give that kudos to my mom, and then to my wifey, man. I can remember when I knew that like she was a official chick is when we still stayed in Cove with my peoples, and I was on that race car thing, and my car was down forever, and she would ride from Killeen to Cove to pick me up before she had to be at work. She would go into work early and then let me have the car so I could move around throughout the day. I was like, man, okay, this is a real one. I was an extra in a movie. Had a little section of the movie, like the camera passing me like that, you could see me. And we shot down in Austin for 2 days. And those days, I think, was like, we maybe was in that little office space or whatever. One day, 12 hours. Another day, like 16 hours or something like that. And I can remember she got up early in the morning. And it was super duper early. I slept in the car. She drove me down there. She stayed on set all day. And she would be in the lobby, or in that area that we were, networking and getting emails and contacts and talking to people who was in the game and all that kind of stuff. So she's been a great wife, and more importantly, a great mother to our children, to Trey and Jason. So salute to you, baby girl, um, and all the other mothers out there. So until next time. Again, the show with two cousins that are like brothers, discussing any and everything and the process. We're signing off. How did we get here? Y'all be safe.
Holla.